The ancient stories call it a god, a spirit of the sky that brings the storm. They say thunder is the beat of its wings and lightning is a flash from its eyes. But what if the truth is more scientific and far stranger? What if the Thunderbird is not a god, but a living, breathing creature that has mastered the physics of the atmosphere? Tonight, we journey to the high, empty deserts to understand the bizarre, biological process that allows a creature of flesh and blood to weave a thunderstorm from little more than sunlight and dust. Before we begin, take a deep breath and let the room grow quiet. If these soft journeys bring you peace, feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is there. It's always comforting to know who's resting alongside us tonight. Now, close your eyes and let the wilderness unfold. You awaken on a needle of sun-scorched granite, a high, lonely spire that has been your roost for longer than you can remember. A place that scrapes the belly of the sky itself. Your awakening is not a gentle stirring from a soft nest, but a slow return of a strange and fundamental sense that is unique to your kind. Before you open your eyes to the pre-dawn darkness, before you feel the warmth of the coming sun, you feel the air itself. It is alive. It is electric. You feel a constant, low-level, static charge crackling softly across the tips of your dark, iridescent feathers. It is a feeling you know intimately, a tingling, humming presence that is the first sign of a day of great potential. It is a language spoken not in sound, but in electrons, a conversation between you and the atmosphere. In the deep, pre-dawn indigo, a time when the world holds its breath between night and day, you can sometimes see it, a tiny, silent, blue-white spark jumping from the edge of one great primary feather to another. A miniature lightning storm played out on the vast landscape of your own body. A secret you share only with the dry, high-altitude air of the desert southwest. This is not an external phenomenon. It is a communion. You are a creature built of and for this energy, your very biology a conductor for the planet's subtle currents. This morning, the feeling is strong, the air is thirsty, the charge is high, a palpable presence in the stillness. You can feel the potential for a great work gathering in the atmosphere around you. A silent, electric promise that hangs in the cool air. You do not think about it in words. You simply feel it as a state of being. You feel the readiness of the world. You feel the deep, ancient dryness of the rock beneath you. A granite throne that has been storing the sun's heat for 1,000 years. You feel the profound lack of moisture in the air you have yet to breathe. Waking, for you, is this first, quiet inventory of the sky's electrical mood. You are a living barometer, a being whose very nerves are attuned to the secret, invisible forces that govern the weather. You are a part of a great planetary circuit, and in these first moments of consciousness, you become aware that the circuit is open, waiting for you, its master, to close it. You remain perfectly still, letting this tingling energy settle into you, a quiet hum of power that resonates deep within your ancient bones, a silent gathering of strength for the task ahead. The first true ray of sunlight breaks over the distant line of the eastern mountains. It is not a gentle light, it is a sharp, brilliant, and powerful blade of pure energy that slices across the dark desert floor below and strikes your high perch with a sudden, silent violence. You do not flinch from it. You do not shield your eyes. You welcome it as a thirsty root welcomes the rain. You stand and slowly, majestically unfurl your colossal wings, not to fly, but to drink. Your wings, each one larger than a small airplane, are covered in feathers that are masterpieces of biological engineering, a living technology perfected over eons of life in this harsh, sun-drenched world. They are not just for flight. Their dark, iridescent surfaces, shimmering with oily purples, blues, and blacks even in the low light, are designed to be perfect conductors. They are photovoltaic structures, a living lattice designed to capture not just the visible light, but the thermal and electromagnetic energy of the sun. The surface of each feather is a complex, fractal pattern that traps light, preventing it from reflecting away, and channels its energy inward. You tilt your wings, angling them for maximum exposure to the rising sun, a slow and deliberate movement, like a great flower turning its face to the light, a silent act of worship. And you can feel the energy beginning to flow into you. It is a slow, deep, and profoundly pleasant warmth that starts in the millions of tiny barbules of your feathers and seeps down into the hollow shafts, down into the muscle and bone beneath. It is a feeling of a great, empty reservoir slowly, patiently being filled. It is the feeling of a deep, inner winter finally giving way to a spring of immense power. The light of the sun is, for you, a form of nourishment as vital as any food, a direct infusion of pure cosmic energy. For a long time, for hours, you stand motionless, a great, dark statue on a high pillar of stone. Your wings spread wide in a silent and reverent greeting to the sun. Your entire being is focused on this slow, quiet, and essential process of charging. Every other sense is secondary to this great, silent communion with a star. The world below can wake up. The small, scurrying creatures of the desert can begin their frantic, daily search for food. But you remain still, a patient vessel accepting a great gift. You are a living capacitor, a biological battery, and the sun is your patient and generous master, pouring its strength into you, preparing you for the great work to come as you absorb the sun's energy through your feathers. A process that is slow and silent. You begin to breathe the morning air. For you, this too is a form of sensory analysis, a way of understanding the hidden nature of your world. Your sense of smell is not like that of a wolf or a bear, designed to track prey or find carrion. Your sense of smell is tuned to the very chemistry of the atmosphere, to the charge of the air itself. The air you breathe is thin, dry, and clean, and it carries the story of the sky. You take a long, slow, deep breath, a conscious act that fills your immense lungs. And you taste it. You taste the ions on the wind. It is a faint, almost imperceptible metallic temps, a flavor that tells you about the electrical potential of air masses that are still hundreds of miles away, far over the horizon. Your tongue and the sensitive membranes in your nostrils are lined with receptors that can differentiate the subtle signatures of the atmosphere. You can distinguish the clean, neutral taste of a stable, high-pressure system, and the sharper, more acidic taste of a low-pressure system where the molecules have been stripped of their electrons, creating a positive charge. You take another breath, deeper this time, and you analyze a different layer of the story. You taste the difference between the dry air that has passed only over the baked desert rock, and the air that carries a faint, humid, and soft memory of the distant ocean. You can taste the pollen from a forest 1,000 miles to the north, a ghost of green in a world of brown and red. You can taste the fine volcanic dust from a mountain range to the south, a hint of ancient fire on your tongue. You are not just breathing, you are reading the sky. You are analyzing the atmospheric data with a set of biological instruments, far more sensitive and far more complex than any made by man. This morning, the taste is strong. and it is a taste of great imbalance. It is the taste of a vast region of the atmosphere that is heavy with a positive charge, a great, dry, thirsty entity that is pulling at the world's natural equilibrium. It is a taste of electrical drought. This taste confirms what the static on your feathers already told you. A great work is needed today. A great storm must be built. The sky is out of balance, and you, a creature born of that balance, are the only one who can restore it. You have been standing on your spire for hours now, a silent, sun-drenched monument soaking in the power of the high desert sun. The sun is high in the sky, and the process of charging is now complete. You can feel it inside you, a state of being that is unique to your kind, a feeling of immense and volatile potential. You feel a low, deep hum within your own body, a vibration that is not a sound, but a feeling of contained energy. It is a coiled spring of immense, quiet power, held in check by the vast, specialized muscles of your chest and back. It is a contained star, a silent, internal thunder waiting for its release. This is not an uncomfortable feeling. It is your natural, peak state of being, the feeling of a vessel filled to its very brim with raw, untamed, cosmic power. Your unique biology is designed to hold this charge. Deep within your body are organs that function like living Leyden jars, biological capacitors made of dense, conductive tissue that can store and build this immense electrical potential without harming your own living flesh. They are your internal batteries, now full to overflowing in this state. Your perception of the world changes, becomes more acute, more electric. You can see the faint electromagnetic fields that surround the granite of your perch. You can feel the static charge of a bee's wings as it flies past, a tiny, insignificant spark in your own vast electrical field. You can feel the energy of the earth itself, a low, constant hum that rises from the sun-baked ground. You are perfectly, completely attuned to the electrical nature of the world. You are no longer just a creature of flesh and blood. You are a living embodiment of one of nature's most fundamental and powerful forces. A single one of your feathers, if it were to fall, would crackle with contained energy for days. A touch from you could stop a beating heart. You are a being of lightning and thunder, a creature whose body is a temple for the storm, and you are now fully awake, fully charged, and ready to find your purpose. Ready to release the immense power that you have so patiently gathered. The feeling of the charge within you is a feeling of immense responsibility. It is a power that must be discharged, a duty that must be performed, a great and heavy weight that you are eager to release. Now that you are charged and your senses are fully aware, you begin to search. You do not search with your eyes, you search with your entire being. You extend your consciousness outwards, a great, silent broadcast of awareness, over the vast expanse of the desert plains and the distant mountain ranges. You are not searching for food or for a mate. You are searching for your purpose. You are searching for an imbalance in the world's great electrical field, a place that needs what you have gathered, a place that is calling for you. You feel the small, local imbalances, a pocket of dry air here, a small, rising thermal there. You ignore them. You are searching for the great imbalance, the one that requires a great and powerful correction. You find it. Hundreds of miles away, over the sun-scorched plains, is the vast, dry, low-pressure system you tasted on the wind earlier. You cannot see it with your eyes, but you can feel it with every fiber of your being. You feel it as a void, a vacuum, a place of great thirst in the planet's atmosphere. It is a place where the natural order is out of alignment, a wound in the sky that is causing the earth below to grow parched and dry, and you feel it pulling at you. It is not a thought, not a decision. It is a deep, instinctual, and irresistible pull. It is a physical calling, a form of magnetic attraction towards the place where you are needed, where the immense energy you have gathered can be released to restore the balance of the world. You have become the solution to a great atmospheric equation. This is your duty, your burden, and your glory. It is the reason for your existence. You stand on the edge of your high spire, your dark, iridescent feathers shimmering with contained power, your body humming with a silent, terrible energy. You look out over the vast world, towards the distant, invisible calling that only you can feel, and you answer the call. You take one last look at your silent, rocky home, and with a single, powerful push of your great legs, you leap from the rock, your immense wings unfurling and catching the air with a sound like tearing silk. You do not just fall into the wind, you command it. You give one powerful initial flap, a downstroke of such immense force that it sends a deep, resonant boom echoing across the canyons below. It is the first, quiet promise of the coming thunder. You are not just a bird on the wing. You are a living storm, and you are going to meet your thunder. You launch from your high spire, a silent shadow against the brilliant blue of the desert sky. Your great wings catch the thermal updrafts that rise from the sun-baked rock, lifting you higher and higher with almost no effort, a slow, majestic, ascending spiral into the vast, empty canvas of the sky. Your journey begins. From your incredible vantage point, miles above the earth, the world transforms. It becomes a vast, silent map of canyons, mesas, and dry, sandy plains, a world of brown, red, and gold, cracked and weathered by eons of sun and wind. You are the master of this sky, a solitary, patient observer of all that unfolds below, as you soar in a great, lazy circle, your eyes, sharper than any other creature's, sharper even than the glass lenses of human telescopes, scan the landscape. You are not hunting. You are simply observing, a king surveying his domain, taking inventory of your quiet, sun-drenched kingdom. Your vision can perceive the subtle shimmer of heat rising from a distant rock formation, the almost imperceptible movement of a snake slithering into the shadow of a cactus. You see the world in a level of detail that is almost unimaginable, and then you see him. At first, he is just a tiny, dark, slow-moving speck on the vast, pale canvas of the desert floor. An insignificant dot in a world of immense spaces. To any other creature, it would be an unremarkable stone, a piece of desert pavement. But you watch, your gaze focused with an intensity that can burn. You see the speck move, a slow, deliberate crawl that is almost imperceptible against the slow turning of the earth itself. You recognize its form. It is another ancient being of this land, a creature as patient and as resilient as the rock itself. It is a great desert tortoise. He is old, perhaps a century old, having witnessed 100 cycles of the driest seasons and the most glorious, life-giving storms. His high-domed shell is a beautiful, intricate mosaic of dusty browns and greys, a living shield covered in the fine, red dust of the desert. The growth rings on his scutes, the plates of his shell, are a chronicle of his long life, a story of feast and famine written in keratin. He is a creature of the earth, as deeply and as completely connected to the ground as you are to the sky, while you are a being of immense power and dynamic, electrical energy. He is a being of profound stillness, of unbelievable, quiet endurance. He is another kind of royalty, a humble and patient king of the hot, dry, and unforgiving desert floor. And from your high throne in the sky, you acknowledge his silent, ancient majesty. Let us now descend from the vast, open sky and join this other ancient creature. The tortoise's world is one of small, deliberate, and essential actions. His life is a masterclass in the conservation of energy and water, a slow, meditative dance with the sun. The sun, which you drink in for power, is a force he must carefully manage. A powerful god that is both a source of life and a bringer of death. We observe him in the early morning, as the desert air is still cool and pleasant. He moves with a slowness that is a form of deep wisdom. Each footfall of his scaly, elephant-like legs is a considered and final act, placed with a certainty that comes from a century of walking this same patch of earth. He is on his daily journey for food, a journey that might only cover a few hundred yards. His goal is not a frantic chase, but a slow, methodical search. He finds what he is looking for, a prickly pear cactus, its pads thick and green and covered in sharp, dangerous spines. He does not rush. He approaches the cactus with a quiet reverence. He uses his strong, beak-like mouth to carefully, skillfully nip off a piece of the cactus pad, avoiding the spines with a practiced ease learned from 1,000 such meals. He chews with a slow, grinding motion, his ancient, reptilian eyes half closed, in quiet contentment. The cactus is more than food. It is his primary source of water, a precious, life-giving liquid stored in the plant's fleshy pads. This single, slow meal might be his only meal of the day, a small communion with the only other life that can truly thrive in this harsh place. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, its heat becomes a shimmering, oppressive force, a physical weight on the world. The tortoise does not fight it. He accepts it, and he retreats. He has a home, a sanctuary of his own. It is a burrow, a deep, cool tunnel that he has dug into the side of a sandy arroyo, a project that he has been working on, deepening and widening, for most of his long life. He arrives at its entrance and pauses for a moment, feeling the cool air that emanates from its dark mouth. He then retreats into this darkness, his great shell scraping softly against the sides of the tunnel. He disappears from the bright, hot world. Inside, the temperature is stable and many degrees cooler than the surface. The air is humid, the moisture from his own breath captured by the surrounding soil. Here, he will spend the hottest part of the day in a state of deep, conserving rest, a form of summer hibernation known as estivation. His heart rate will slow to just a few beats per minute. His breathing will become shallow and infrequent. He has sealed himself off from the world, a quiet king in his cool, dark, and silent underground castle. His entire life is this simple, profound rhythm, a slow, purposeful search for sustenance in the cool hours, and a deep, patient retreat into stillness during the heat. It is a life lived in perfect, hard-won harmony with the brutal, beautiful realities of the desert. High above, miles above, you continue your great, circling flight, a silent, dark speck in the endless, deep blue of the desert sky. Your world is one of vast horizons, of seeing the curve of the earth itself, and from your god's eye view, you watch the tortoise. You saw him on his slow, morning journey. You saw him take his single, careful meal from the cactus, and you saw him retreat into the dark mouth of his burrow, a tiny shadow disappearing into the earth, a small life returning to its small, safe place. You are aware of his entire existence, though he is completely unaware of yours. Save for the great storms you sometimes bring, you are a creature of the macro, of the great atmospheric forces, of the view from 10,000 feet, of a world measured in continents and weather patterns. He is a creature of the micro, of the individual cactus plant, of the cool, dark earth, of a single burrow, of a world measured in footsteps and single, precious drops of water. You are a being of the vast, open, and dangerous sky. He is a being of the small, enclosed, and protected space, yet you feel a deep and profound connection to this other solitary, ancient being. He is a fixture in your world, a known and respected, constant in the great, ever-changing map of the land below. You have seen him, or his ancestors, on this same patch of desert for more of your lifetimes than you can count. You have watched his kind navigate the same slow, patient lives, their existence a quiet, humble, and unbreakable testament to the power of endurance. He is a point of stillness in a world of shimmering heat. He is a point of life in a world that seems dedicated to emptiness. You are the sky. He is the earth, and you are both bound by the same sun, the same land, the same fundamental need for the life-giving water that is so scarce in this beautiful, harsh world. You see the heat shimmering off the sand around his burrow, and you feel the dryness of the air on your own great wings, and you know that your purpose and his are intertwined. The desert tortoise, resting in the cool, deep silence of his burrow, is waiting. His life is a long, patient wait. He is waiting for the heat of the day to pass, for the cool of the evening to arrive so he can emerge once more. But on a deeper, more fundamental level, he is waiting for something else. He is waiting for you. He does not know it, not in any conscious sense. He has no concept of a great bird in the sky that weaves the weather. But his ancient, reptilian body, a body that has not changed much in millions of years, is built around a single, profound, and instinctual truth. The rains will come. His survival, and the survival of every living thing in this desert, depends entirely on the rare, powerful, and life-giving thunderstorms that you bring to this parched land. He can survive for up to a year without drinking, his body a master of water conservation, his bladder able to store a massive reserve. But eventually, he must drink. His entire being is in a state of patient, hopeful waiting for the gift that you are now preparing to deliver, for the storm that you are weaving from sunlight and dust miles away in the upper atmosphere. He can feel it in his ancient bones, a subtle change in the pressure of the air that even reaches him deep within his burrow, and he waits. You, soaring high above, feel this connection with an even greater intimacy. You feel the thirst of the land as your own. You feel the great, dry, positively charged mass of air over the desert as a physical imbalance, a disharmony in the world's great electrical field. You feel it as a wound that you are compelled to heal. Your work is not a choice. It is an instinct, a deep and powerful drive to restore the balance. The tortoise and the thunderbird, the earth and the sky, you are two different parts of the same ancient, symbiotic relationship. He is the patient, waiting need, the quiet, humble, and thirsty ground. You are the powerful, active fulfillment, the loud, energetic, and generous sky. His existence is defined by a humble acceptance of the world as it is. Your existence is defined by the awesome power to change it. Your two lives, though worlds apart in scale and perspective, are inextricably linked in a silent, cosmic dance of survival, a partnership written in the language of sun, earth, and water. The afternoon sun begins to dip lower in the sky, and the oppressive heat begins to ease. The great, dark thunderhead that you have spent all day building is now complete. a colossal, churning mass of water and electricity that you are now guiding with the subtle movements of your wings. Far below, the desert tortoise feels the world changing. He feels the temperature drop. He feels the pressure shift. He emerges from his burrow, his ancient head peering out, his dark, patient eyes looking up at the darkening sky. He sees the great, dark cloud that you have brought. He smells the coming rain on the air, that beautiful, rich, earthy scent of petrichor. He moves to a low-lying area, a place where he knows from a century of experience that the water will pool, and he waits. High above, you see him, a tiny, patient speck, waiting for you, trusting in you. You feel a deep and profound sense of connection in this moment. He is the patient, waiting earth. You are the powerful, active sky, and you are about to meet. You choose the moment. With a great, silent release, you let the storm go. The first fat drops of rain, heavy and cold, begin to fall, striking the hot, dry, dusty ground around the tortoise with a soft, hissing sound. We watch him as he extends his ancient, wrinkled neck and opens his mouth, letting the cool, fresh water wash over him. He begins to drink deeply from a newly formed puddle, a long, slow, grateful drink that will sustain him for many months to come. His long wait is over. Your great work is done. You have fulfilled your part of the ancient contract. You watch him for a moment longer, this other ancient king, this master of the ground, and you feel a sense of profound, quiet peace. You are not a god. He is not a subject. You are two different, necessary parts of the world's great, cyclical rhythm, a partnership of give and take. And with your energy released, your purpose fulfilled, you turn and fly towards the setting sun, which is now breaking through the dissipating clouds, creating a spectacular, fiery sunset. You are a silent guardian, leaving behind a world reborn in the gentle, life-giving, and desperately needed rain. Now we shall explore the heart of your purpose, the very mechanism of your power, the secret that separates you from every other living thing. The storm you are about to create is not an act of random magic, not a gift from an angry god. It is a process, a quiet and elegant form of physics that you have mastered, a strange and beautiful science known only to your kind. Your great journey takes you high and far, towards a specific type of air mass you sensed earlier in the day on the ion-rich wind. It is a vast, rising column of warm, humid air, an invisible river pushed up from the distant Gulf of Mexico and carried inland, flowing through the drier desert sky like a ghostly current. To other creatures, this air is indistinguishable from the rest of the vast, blue emptiness. But to you, it is a raw material, a great, unquarried block of marble from which you will carve your masterpiece. You fly into this humid air mass, and you can feel the change instantly, a palpable shift in the world. The air is softer here, heavier, full of the latent, life-giving promise of water. It clings to your feathers, not with the dry crackle of static, but with a gentle, damp caress. Now, with the raw material gathered, the first stage of your bizarre science begins. You must give this invisible water vapor a reason to become a cloud. You must convince it to be born. You are a living cloud seeder, from specialized, almost invisible glands located under the leading edge of your great wings. You begin to release a fine ethereal dust into the air. This is not a random shedding. It is a controlled and deliberate release, a muscular contraction that emits a shimmering, almost invisible plume. This dust is a unique and complex mixture of materials you have gathered over time, a personal recipe For rain, it contains microscopic salt crystals from a flight you once took over a great, dry lake bed. Their crystalline structure a perfect lattice for water to cling to. It contains fine, almost weightless pollen from a high-altitude forest of pine and cedar, another perfect organic scaffold, and it contains tiny, shed particles of your own keratin-rich feathers, each one a microscopic anchor holding a fragment of your own unique electrical charge. As you fly in great, soaring, patient circles, you release this dust, weaving it into the very fabric of the air, seeding a future cloud with the potential for rain, offering the sky the gift it needs to begin its great work. The first wisps of cloud have begun to form around you, drawn to the irresistible invitation of the nuclei you have provided. A small, innocent-looking cumulus cloud is born, a puff of white in the blue, a beautiful but powerless thing. A simple cloud will not create lightning. It must be charged. It must be given a soul. Now, the second and most laborious phase of your work begins. You must become the engine of the storm. You fly in great, specific patterns inside the growing cloud, a complex, three-dimensional dance that you have practiced for centuries, a silent and sacred choreography. You use the powerful thermal updrafts within the cloud, the rising columns of warm air, to carry you upwards with immense speed, your great, warm body ascending through the churning white mist like a dark and powerful spirit. As you rise, you carry the tiny, light, positively charged water droplets with you, pulling them towards the top of the growing cloud. At the peak of your ascent, in the freezing upper layers of the cloud where the water turns to ice, you use your powerful wings to push yourself downwards, a great, muscular contraction that drives you against the updraft, a deliberate and difficult act of will on your descent. You pass through the supercooled rain and the tiny, heavy particles of ice or grapple, which are all negatively charged. This constant, powerful, and repetitive movement up with the warm updraft, down through the cold downdrafters, the very science of your storm. You have become a living generator, a biological Van de Graaff machine. The friction of your immense, specially adapted feathers against the air and ice particles, and more importantly, the physical separation of the warm, light, positive charges from the cold, heavy, negative charges, begins to build an immense electrical potential within the cloud. The top of the cloud becomes a great, positively charged anode, a place of electrical surplus. The bottom of the cloud becomes a churning, dark, negatively charged cathode, a place of immense electrical deficit. You can feel this separation, this growing tension, as a deep, humming vibration in your bones, a feeling of immense power being brought to the very edge of its containment. You are not just flying. You are weaving the very fabric of lightning. You are polarizing a piece of the sky, preparing it for its great and violent release. The cloud is growing now, fed by the humid air from below, expanding from a simple white puff into a great, dark, and towering thunderhead, an anvil of vapor miles high, its top spreading out against the upper limits of the atmosphere. The electrical charge within it has become immense, a barely contained force of incredible power, a silent, screaming tension. It is now time for you to give the storm its voice. Until now, your flight has been one of silent, focused work, a quiet and personal labor. But now, you perform an act of pure, awesome power, an announcement to the world below. At the peak of an updraft, high within the churning grey heart of the cloud you have created, you give a single, powerful downstroke of your colossal wings. This is not an act of flight. It is an act of sound. The movement is so fast, so powerful, that it creates a sonic boom, a cone of compressed air that ripples outwards through the cloud and the sky, a shock wave of pure force that shakes the very molecules of the air. This is the thunder. It is not your voice, for you have no voice. It is the sound of your power, the sound of your interaction with the laws of physics, a testament to the energy you command. The first, deep, resonant boom rolls across the plains below, a sound that makes the earth itself seem to tremble. It is the announcement that the storm is ready. It is the first warning to the creatures of the desert to seek shelter. It is the first promise of the coming rain. You feel the vibration of your own thunder in your body, a satisfying, resonant echo of the power you have built, a feeling of a great work nearing its completion. The sound washes over the landscape, bouncing off distant canyons, a great, rolling, and majestic sound that is both terrifying and beautiful. You have given your creation a voice, a great and powerful roar that speaks of the immense energy you have gathered. And now, it is time to give it its fire. You now fly just beneath the base of the great, dark cloud you have built. It is a churning, volatile, and beautiful thing, a living testament to your work, a temporary, floating kingdom of your own creation. And you can now feel the immense, electrical potential you have gathered as a palpable, physical presence. The air around you is thick and heavy with it, a strange, electric soup that makes the hairs on your own feathers stand on end. Pulled upwards by the immense static field, you can feel the massive, negatively charged base of the cloud calling, yearning, for the positively charged dry earth so far below. It is a great, unresolved tension in the fabric of the world, a cosmic desire for balance and equilibrium. The difference in potential between the cloud and the ground is now millions upon millions of volts, an almost unimaginable store of power. The storm wants to release this energy, but the air between the cloud and the ground is a good insulator, a great, thick blanket that prevents a discharge. The storm is a loaded weapon with no trigger. The immense power you have built needs your final, guiding touch. You are not just the storm's creator. You are its key, its master, its final, guiding intelligence. You now begin your descent from the cloud base, flying towards the parched land below, your own body a living conduit, a bridge between the sky and the earth. As you descend, you feel the pull between the two great forces, the negative charge of the cloud above you and the positive charge of the ground below you. You feel them pulling at you, at your own charged body, wanting to use you as the bridge, but you resist. You are not the lightning, you are its guide. You fly with a serene and focused calm through this world of immense, invisible forces, your mind fixed on your final task. You are preparing for the final, crucial act of your strange and sacred science, the moment when you will complete the circuit and unleash the fire of the sky. You guide the storm with your flight, pulling the great, dark cloud behind you like a shepherd guiding a great, heavy flock. Your movements are slow and deliberate as you pull the storm away from the Rocky Mountains where its rain would be wasted, and out over the driest, most thirsty parts of the open plains, to the place where the gift of water is most needed. You choose the spot. Below you, the parched earth waits, its positive charge a silent, upward call, a desperate, electrical prayer. The time is now. The tension is at its absolute peak. You cannot breathe lightning, for that is a thing of myth, but you can tell it where to go. You perform your final, most bizarre, and most secret act. You hover for a moment, your great wings beating a slow, steady rhythm against the charged air. Then, from a specialized gland in your beak, a gland that concentrates the ions from the air you breathe, you release a small, focused, and almost invisible stream of ionized particles. It is a conductive trail, a path of least resistance, that you spit towards the ground. This trail of ions creates a superconductive channel through the insulating air, a secret road for the lightning to follow. This is the stepped leader. It is not the lightning itself, but the invitation for the lightning. The massive negative charge in the cloud base instantly sees this path, this perfect, conductive highway that you have built for it, and it accepts the invitation. With a speed and a power that is almost beyond comprehension, the circuit is closed. The lightning strikes. A brilliant, blinding, jagged river of pure energy flows from the cloud to the earth, following the exact path you created, striking the exact spot you chose. It is a moment of awesome, terrible beauty, a violent and magnificent release of the tension you have built. You have triggered the lightning. You have become the master of the storm, and with the electrical potential now released, the great work is done, and the final, gentle gift of rain can be delivered to the grateful earth below. You hang in the air, a silent, dark crucifix against the churning grey belly of the storm you have created. You are the conductor, the maestro, and the moment for the crescendo has arrived. You have guided the storm to the heart of the thirsty plains. You have chosen the spot, and you have sent down your secret, ionized invitation. Now, you observe the result. There is a fraction of a second of absolute, profound silence, a held breath in the atmosphere, a moment of immense, unbearable tension where the entire world seems to pause. The air is thick with a power that wants to be released. The negatively charged cloud base yearns for the positively charged earth, a cosmic longing for equilibrium. You feel this tension in your very being, a tautness in the air that makes every feather on your body stand on end. And then, the world is broken by light. The lightning strikes. It is not a gentle flicker. It is a violent, brilliant, and jagged river of pure energy, a vein of raw power torn from the heart of the sky. It follows the path you created with perfect, unerring accuracy, striking the dry earth below with a flash so brilliant it momentarily turns the dark, stormy landscape into a stark, overexposed world of black and white. For a brief instant, every grain of sand, every blade of dry grass, every stone is illuminated in impossible, brilliant detail, their shadows etched starkly onto the ground. You, soaring at the edge of the cloud, feel the release as a physical event, the immense electrical charge you have been carrying in your own body, the heavy, humming potential that has made you a living battery all day, is discharged in that single, spectacular moment. You feel a great, shuddering release run through your entire body, a feeling of a massive weight being lifted from your very soul. It is a moment of profound, almost violent, peace. The circuit is closed. The great work is done. The tension that has been building all day, the great atmospheric ache, is gone, released in a single, beautiful, and terrifying stroke of pure, elemental fire. With the immense electrical potential of the cloud now discharged, with the great tension broken, the laws of physics can proceed to their next, gentler phase. The storm, its electrical fury spent in that single, magnificent flash, can now deliver its true gift, the reason for its creation. The tiny, supercooled water droplets and ice crystals that you so carefully gathered and lifted into the sky are no longer held apart by powerful electrical forces. They are now free to collide, to to merge, to combine their small weights into something more substantial. They coalesce, growing heavier and heavier, until they are too heavy for the updrafts of the cloud to support, and so they fall. The first drop of rain begins its long journey to the earth. It is a large, heavy, and cold drop, and it strikes the parched ground with a soft, audible pat. It is followed by another, and then 100, and then 1,000,000, until the air is filled with falling water. The rain begins. It is not a gentle mist. It is a heavy, steady, life-giving downpour, a deluge of pure, clean water. It is the sound the desert has been waiting for, a sound it may not have heard for an entire season. You hear it as a great, roaring hiss as it strikes the vast expanse of the parched earth below. It is a sound of immense satisfaction, the sound of a great thirst being quenched. You watch as the water hits the dry, cracked ground, darkening the soil instantly, turning the pale red dust into a rich, dark mud. You watch it begin to pool in the low places, creating temporary, shimmering mirrors that reflect the dark, churning sky. The air itself is transformed. The dry, static-filled heat is washed away, replaced by a cool, clean, and heavy humidity. You have delivered your burden. You have given the land its drink. The promise of the thunder has been fulfilled, and the long, slow work of renewal can now begin. You do not flee the storm you have created. It is not a threat to you. It is your creation, your child, your work of art. To be within it is to be within a part of yourself. And so you remain a silent, soaring guardian watching over your gift. You fly to the edge of the great, dark rain cloud, where the violence of the main storm gives way to a more gentle and stable air. Here, the flight is effortless. The air is cool and clean, washed free of dust, and it holds you aloft with a gentle, steady pressure. You spread your great wings and you glide in slow, lazy circles, a silent, dark shape against the grey backdrop of the falling rain. The mood is one of profound peace and deep-earned satisfaction. Your body, which was humming with a tense, coiled energy, is now relaxed, light, and wonderfully empty. You feel a deep, pleasant weariness in your muscles, the feeling of a great work completed, of a great burden released. You are no longer a capacitor charged with the sky's anger. You are simply a great bird gliding in the cool, clean air, your purpose for the day fulfilled. You watch the rain fall over the plains, a great, grey, moving curtain of life that marches slowly across the landscape. You see the lightning flicker harmlessly and silently within the cloud now, its great power spent, a final, beautiful, internal light show, like the last dying embers of a great fire. You are the shepherd who has led his flock to the pasture, and now you simply watch as they drink. There is a deep, quiet joy in this moment, the joy of a creator observing their work, the joy of a balancer who has restored the world to its proper state. You feel the cool rain on your own feathers, a gentle, cleansing bath. Each drop is a small, quiet thank you from the sky. You close your eyes for a moment, not in sleep, but in a state of pure, meditative bliss, feeling the rain, feeling the cool air, and feeling the deep, resonant rightness of the world. Asterisk the storm, its great work done, its life-giving water delivered, begins to move on. It is carried eastward by the prevailing winds, its rain now a gift for other, distant lands. The downpour over your desert softens to a gentle shower, and then it ceases altogether. The great, dark thunderhead begins to break apart, its angry, grey mass dissipating into softer, more peaceful white clouds, its energy spent, And as the clouds part, the setting sun, which had been hidden for the last hour, now breaks through. Its final, warm, golden rays slice horizontally through the rain-washed air, creating a spectacular and beautiful scene. The wet desert landscape below is transformed. The red rocks and the brown earth are now dark and glistening, their colors deeper and richer than before. A double rainbow, a perfect, brilliant arc of color, forms in the east, a beautiful and fleeting monument to the storm that has passed. It is a bridge of light, a promise of peace. But the greatest sensation is the scent. The air is now clean, clear, and filled with the most beautiful perfume in the world, the rich, complex, and deeply life-affirming scent of petrichor. It is the smell of rain on dry, thirsty earth. It is a combination of the oils released by the desert plants and the chemicals released by the wet soil. It is the scent of a promise kept. It is the scent of life renewed. You take a long, deep breath of this incredible air, and it is a feeling of ultimate satisfaction, a reward for your long day's work. You look down, and you see the world transformed by your work. You see the desert plants, once grey with dust, now clean and vibrant green. You see the patient desert tortoise you observed earlier, now standing at the edge of a newly formed puddle, drinking deeply, its long, slow thirst finally quenched. The world is alive again, teeming with a quiet, grateful energy. And it is your work that has made it so. Your duty is done. Your energy is spent. The profound peace of a job well done settles over your ancient consciousness. You turn your great body and begin your long, slow, and gentle flight back towards your home, your high, lonely spire in the distant mountains. You fly towards the setting sun, which is now a great red orb resting on the horizon. The sky is a masterpiece of color, a final, glorious celebration of the day you have shaped. As you fly, you feel your own body returning to its baseline state. The deep, electric hum within you has faded, replaced by a quiet, comfortable emptiness. Your muscles, which were tense with the effort of carrying and guiding the storm, are now loose and wonderfully relaxed. You feel a deep, pleasant weariness seep into your bones, a desire for your own form of rest, a rest that is earned and deeply needed. You are no longer the active, powerful force of nature, the weaver of lightning. You are once again a simple creature, a great, tired bird heading home. You arrive at your high, rocky spire as the last sliver of the sun disappears below the horizon, plunging the world into a soft, purple twilight. You land with a soft, sure-footed grace, your great wings folding neatly against your body with a sound like rustling silk. You settle into your familiar resting spot, your back against the granite that has stored the day's warmth, a final, gentle gift from the sun. You look out over the quiet, darkening, and freshly washed world. The air is cool and clean. The stars are beginning to appear in the clear, dark sky. You have restored the balance, and now you can find your own. You feel the last of your energy drain away, leaving only a profound sense of peace. You close your eyes, and a deep, dreamless, and utterly peaceful sleep takes you. Your own great heart beating in time with the quieted, grateful world below.